I'm Tom, bikepacker, ultra racer and all-round cycling fanatic. And as a cyclist I like nothing more than new kit day. In this video I'm going to show you some of the new gear that I've bought to support my bikepacking, racing and adventuring this year. All of this gear I've bought with my own money. I don't have any sponsors. Hopefully this investment is going to really help my bikepacking and adventuring this year. Something I really wanted to focus on is my layering and getting better at only carrying what I need. So I'm not taking excessive amounts of extra clothing. I'm not taking stuff that I don't ever wear, but I'm also taking enough stuff to make sure I stay warm and I'm protected against the elements. I've had problems in the past, like at the Atlas mountain race, where the clothing I took was kind of too warm for the conditions and I ended up just carrying loads of stuff around and essentially just wore a merino base layer. So typically my layering problem is I tend to be too hot. So I've chosen a layering system that will hopefully keep me cool but also provide warmth when needed without overheating, and again without carrying too much weight and too many items of clothes that I just simply don't wear. So item number one is from Rapha, and you know I love a bit of Rapha, and this is a lightweight Pro Team jersey. It looks very small but it does fit. The whole idea of this is it will keep me from overheating. A major benefit of this jersey is this kind of mesh system it has. So you can see these little squares, and that lets a lot of moisture pass through, but also a lot of air come through as well. So it's highly breathable, which helps keep you dry and cool. Ideally, I wanted a white one of these, but being a bit of a bargain hunter, I settled for this kind of weird beige colour, which sounds very attractive, but it was significantly cheaper than the pure white one. But a choice between this and the dark colour, hopefully this one will be better in those glorious summer days we can expect here in the UK, and hopefully some adventures abroad too. The next couple of layers are from a company that I've not had any experience with before. It's Albion, and the first of these I'm particularly excited to use. It's an Albion body warmer. It's a new release this year. Take out the bag. You can see it's essentially a vest, and it's a vest that's made of Primaloft active material, which, a bit like the Rapha jersey, is kind of like a mesh, I guess, so it's really breathable and lets a lot of moisture through. So hopefully again you're not going to get too hot and sweaty wearing it, and it should provide a nice layer of warmth when it's a bit chilly. One of the benefits of this piece of equipment is that it is very light. It only weighs 75 grams, and as you can see, well, it's still got the label on it, but if it didn't have the label on it, it essentially squishes up very small, so that can obviously be rammed in a bikepacking bag or in your back pocket, and you probably wouldn't even know it was there. When it gets chilly, I can stick that over the Rapha jersey and experience a bit of warmth. Up next is another piece of Albion clothing. This is the ultra lightweight insulated jacket. Look at that. My wife did describe it as a bin bag, but hopefully it provides a bit more warmth than a bin bag. The main reason I bought this is I was using insulated gilet by Rapha, which kept the front of me nice and warm on those chilly evenings, but because it didn't cover the top of my arms, my arm warmers come up to about, I don't know, halfway up the top of my arm. I had this kind of gap between the two, which would get pretty chilly in the wind. So the benefit of this is you have the front insulation like on my previous gilet, but also that insulation extends down the arms to just below the elbow, I think. So it provides a little bit more shelter from the wind when you're riding on those chilly nights. And as you can guess from the name of the jacket, it is ultralight. This one weighs in at just 96 grams. And as with the body warmer, again, if I didn't have the label here, it scrunches up pretty tiny for a warmish jersey jacket. So again, that can be stuffed in my back pocket or in my bikepacking bags and pulled out when needed. And in terms of layering, again, I can combine it with the body warmer to provide even more warmth. Again, it's all about carrying lighter, more versatile equipment which can have multiple uses, and hopefully not carrying stuff that I never use. And of course, I will also be taking a rain shell. A number of my events and the routes I've got planned are in England where, it'll probably rain. So I can stick the rain shell over all of that to keep me either warm or dry. Before we move on to the next piece, if you've bought any new gear to support your bikepacking or adventures this year, let me know below, tell me what it is. I'll take a look, and who knows, maybe it could help me or someone else that's watching this video. So a couple of the events I've entered this year have potential for some major changeable weather. I've got an event in May in South Wales, so for anyone that knows Wales, it will probably rain. And then later in the year, my big event of the year, which is going to be down in the Alps, that too has potential to have all sorts of weather, from extreme heat to snow, rain, wind, everything in between. So something I wanted to look into getting this year was a pair of rain pants, some waterproof trousers that I could cycle in. Been exploring some different options for some waterproof rain pants. I spoke to quite a lot of people about different options. I was looking at some Enduro ones, and a chap called Neil, who some of you will probably know from bikepacking and ultra racing, recommended some 7 mesh Thunder pants. Now when I looked at these first, the price was ridiculous. There was no way I was paying full price for these. But then as I lay in bed the other day, browsing Instagram as you do, I saw that 7 mesh had this insane archive sale. And I think I managed to get about 65, maybe even 70% off these rain pants. So let's take a look at what makes them good. So, here they are. Nice packaging. These are a Gore-Tex trouser, and as you can see, they're essentially a big pair of waterproof cycling trousers, but they're pretty lightweight. I think they're about 300 grams, and again, the idea is that they roll up really small, well, really small, relatively small, like that, and you know, if you're out in extreme inclement weather for hours upon end, these should, in theory, keep me dry and warm. They've got some handy features on them. You can cut the cuff down the bottom here, which is kind of like a neoprene cuff. You can cut it to your height. And they benefit from a half-length zip that goes halfway up your leg, which makes it a lot easier to take them off and on. And I'm also thinking it's going to help with ventilation when you're riding along. Maybe it's sort of off and on rain. You could unzip it, get some air in, and then zip it back down when it starts raining again. So a piece of equipment I'm probably not excited about using, because I'm not a huge fan of riding in rain, but if it improves that and the comfort, keeps me going, stops me from, dare I say, quitting, scratching, then that's got to be a good investment. I'm also having a little experiment with a new pair of shoes. For the last few years I've been using Specialized Recon 1, which is their real basic mountain bike shoe. I use that one because it's quite flexible, so when you're off the bike walking around, and particularly when you're hiker biking, climbing up big hills, that kind of thing, the flex in the shoe means your feet are much more comfortable. Now a couple of the events I've got this year have potential for a lot of hiker bike, which is actually something I'm coming to love. Gives a nice little variation during the event, a change of pace and a slightly different way to move your body. So to try and maximise comfort during walking, I've had a bit of an investigation into different shoes, and I found these Fizik Terra ergo lace shoes ridiculously cheap. I think these were under £40. So I'm going to give them a go and see what they're like. As you can see, they've got a lot of grip on the bottom, and they're kind of like a walking shoe, I guess, and they bend a lot, which should be good for that hiker bike. And I guess what's also helpful about this type of shoe is walking around, resupplying, going in and out of hotel, that kind of thing. You're not clipping and clopping about, so you kind of look maybe slightly more normal, although I do quite enjoy looking like this strange man that's appeared in the middle of nowhere, stinking, scurrying about trying to find food, sitting on the floor, eating it, and then riding off into the sunset. So the only thing I'm not 100% sure on these is laces. I've never really used a lace-up cycling shoe, but I'm going to give them a go, see how they are, and if they work out, then perhaps they'll replace my Specialized Recon 1s. And as I say, they're probably not as efficient as a carbon-soled cross-country shoe, but they're certainly, hopefully, a little bit more comfortable. And as you know, in this ultra-distance game and bike-packing game, comfort is fast. Now hopefully, by using that new equipment, I'm going to vastly improve my layering game, and this is what it's going to look like. So this is me in full sunshine mode. I've got my shorts on, I've got my short sleeve jersey on, I'm chilling in the sun, it's perfect, keeping cool, enjoying those trails. And as the sun sets or the sun rises, it's a pretty chilly time of day, so I've got my leg warmers on and my arm warmers, and I've got that wonderful body warmer from Albion keeping me warm. And it's got a little bit more chilly, so I'm sticking on the ultra lightweight jacket. This will hopefully keep me warm into the night. And oh no, me being me, it's raining again. Can't seem to get anywhere without it raining. So I'm now in my full rain mode. So I've got my rain pants on and my rain shell with the hood up, keeping dry, keeping moving, keeping warm, heading towards my target for the day and hopefully towards some nicer, drier weather. So the aim of this is to have a more considered approach to the equipment I take, so I'm not carrying too much stuff, and an improved layering system so I'm not overheating, I'm staying comfortable, and I'm just focusing on riding my bike, eating, and not worrying about being too cold, too hot, wet or dry. So that new equipment will hopefully significantly improve my layering system, meaning I'm not carrying too much stuff. All of that stuff will be worn during the event, but I've got a couple of months before my main events kick in, so there's plenty of testing to do. And if it doesn't work, I've got time to change it. And I guess that'd be my top tip to anyone who's trying some new equipment. Don't leave it till the event, don't leave it till the race day, don't leave it till you go away doing your trip. Test it out beforehand, see what it's like, and if it doesn't work, try something new. If you're liking my videos, I'd love it if you could subscribe. Hopefully you found this one interesting and perhaps it's inspired you to try a new bit of kit to support your bike packing or adventuring. All that's left to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.